All right, you can begin.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Jackson Hill. I just want to thank you for your time today when we're looking through my portfolio. Here, I have the link for my ArtStation website where you can see my full portfolio and all the works that I've been doing over the last several years. Before I get started on myself, however, I would like to start with some of my influences. I consider myself to be both a hard surface modeler and an environmental modeler. This year specifically, I've been focusing a lot on the environmental aspect of my work, and I've noticed a lot of my influences and my inspiration come directly from video games such as Terraria or Breath of the Wild from the Legend of Zelda series. Just the way that they create their environments and some of their weapons and tools, the color schemes, a lot of the geometry specifically from some of the Zelda weaponry really comes through in a lot of my work. And like I said, I really enjoy how they structure their environments and how everything comes together in the end, which is something that I try to emulate with the color scheme and all of my work tying back to the entire work. And now let's go ahead and get into some of my 3D modeling work. First, I'd like to show you really the very first big project I ever took on with Maya. And this is a 3D model of a Nerf Longshot, which has gone through several iterations throughout the years. And this is its latest form, which I truly am proud of how it's come out in the end. Second, I would like to show off my ATC tower, which we did as part of a commission for Simulation 1, where CAE came in and, well, the school working with CAE, um, part of the program here is we work with the hiring artist from CAE and they give us the specifications for some objects that they would like created for their military simulations. And the one I chose to recreate was the Stockholm ATC tower. And my favorite part about this piece is the lighting effects I was able to achieve through all of the reflections and the refractions in the windows, which is something that I've been working on over the next few years, is just working on more and more visual effects spread throughout both my environmental and hard surface modeling pieces. Next, I'd like to show you a render of my steampunk cat I've created. It has a very high level of just detail into the model itself with the felt on the hat and then the different metallic surfaces on the gears and the pipes. And this is one of my latest works. It's a very low poly, so that means the number of faces, you can probably count the number of faces on this model in particular, which is a style I have been trying to really perfect and work on over this last semester, where it makes it much easier on the computer and or the console whenever you're rendering it in game. So it's a nice cute art style I've been trying to replicate and recreate with this 3D printable model, which I actually was able, with the help of Mr. Lowther, to print off using the printer we have in the lab. In the spring of 2019, the director from the Magnolia Arts Center here in town approached me and Miss Lowther with the project where she wanted a 3D visualization of the space that she was looking at buying next door and wanted to have the actual model to show off to investors and anyone curious as to what they were doing in the next few months. What she really wanted was it to be divided into two separate spaces, the front for anything where you would have wood woodworking, where there would be sawdust flying everywhere from the saws and knives and just the sculptures in general, or any spray paints or anything that could pollute the air. So you can see in the right photo there that there's a wall with a big door that opens up so that anyone in the back room wouldn't have to deal with all of the pollutants in the air. She was really insistent on the divider there and then the glass walls up in her office where she could look down onto the entire um, onto the entire area without having to deal with the pollutants in the air as well. Now, for this entire semester, I have been working on this very intensive project, which I am incredibly proud of how it's come out in the very end. This has really been a brand new eye opener for me. I used to consider myself solely a hard surface modeler and never even once considered what it would like to what it would be what it would be like to create environments. This has been one of my favorite things I've ever worked on, and just working on this alone has given me so many other ideas for all sorts of other projects that once I have the free time to start on, I'm going to sit here for hours and hours every day working on them and perfecting them just as I've done on this. Some of the pieces I'm about to show you, like the one on the left here, made it into the student art show we had here in March. These are the renders that I have chosen from the springtime. The whole point of this project was to focus on this sword and the environment around it as the seasons changed from spring to summer to fall to winter. And these are the ones from the springtime. Now, if you noticed in the last one, the all of the scenery was very pink and red and white, and I wanted to contrast whatever color the scenery was very heavily with the colors featured in the sword. So with the red and the pinks and the whites, I wanted to focus on the blue of the sword. Here, I initially thought that purple would be a very good contrast with the yellow and green, but it really became too much of a drawaway for your eyes. So I changed it to yellow, which ends up being the only color scheme where it's complementary, but I think it came out very, very nicely in the end. These are the two in the summer. And here in the fall, I have chosen the green color to contrast with the reds and the oranges of the fall foliage and everything. And finally, in the winter, with the whites and the blues, I made the sword glow and the gems that nice orange, just the inspiration from going inside. You leave the outside where it's icy and cold and white and blue, and you go inside, and it's that nice orange furnace glow on the sword to contrast the snow. Um, while I am not here for graphic design, I also enjoy doing some graphic design in my free time. These are some alternative logos that I have created for the Coors Light beer can. I personally don't think that they really go with what what the Coors logo is trying to achieve, which was really what I was trying to achieve here, is just the sharp contrast to what it normally the target audience of Coors normally what normally appeals to them, and completely flip that on its head and give a brand new take on all of that with the vaporwave effect here on the right. I also enjoy, no matter what I'm doing, I always have some sort of music playing in the background. I've been in band for 7, 8, 9 years, and I was in band here at SAU. So there's music that comes out in my art, whether I want it to or not. And in these specifically, I have brought the music to life with some graphic design band posters for songs or bands in general. The left one features the song Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys, and the right one features I Am the Machine by Imagine Dragons. Finally, I would like to show off some of my photography work, which I have done here. These are all from a series of photos I took in the fall of 2019, I believe. These are all, most of them are from Lake Columbia here. I wanted to go out at sunset and really try and get some really sharp contrast with the darkening environment and horizon lines versus the bright sky and the water. And then on the right, I focused on this pillar of mushrooms that was climbing up a tree, and just I wanted to really exaggerate how long the pillar of mushroom was by changing the field of view so that it looks like you really are looking all the way down into, like, say a cavern where it's just a giant mushroom growing all the way down. And then finally, there's on the left here another shot from the outskirts of Lake Columbia, and on the right here some close up of a pile of leaves I found just on walking out on the farm road one day. And finally, thank you all for your time once again.